To make sure that we have an understanding of how to create a mean, the SAT asks us to really rely on the equation for average or mean, same exact thing. And that's really what we rely on anytime they ask us these questions, which shows up once at least on every SAT math section, where they kind of give us the total average. The mean score of 8 players was 14.5. And so what that means is that we don't know exactly how many points necessarily were scored, but that if you divide that by 8, you're going to get 14.5. If the highest individual score is removed, the mean score of the remaining 7 players becomes 12 points. What is the highest score? Well, let's see how that translates to another question. So first, I think what would be helpful is knowing how many total points are scored, because once we have all the information, it kind of makes all sense of it all. And we can figure that out by finding x, which means all we have to do here is times 14.5 times 8. 116. So that's what this ends up being. And we ask ourselves, if we read this carefully here, the highest score is removed. So if all the points together that all 8 players scored is 116, if we subtract whatever that amount is, we don't know what it is, let's just call it y, and then we divide that by how many players are left, which is 7, right? Because the remaining 7 players, their average is now 12. As we write out that expression here, we realize that we are now setting ourselves up to solve for that answer. All of these answer choices would ultimately be y. Now we can plug in each of these and see which one gives us 12, or we can isolate for y by first multiplying both sides by 7. And then we have 116 minus y equals 12 times 7. So 12 times 7, 84. So we know that this equals 84. Well, then we want to get y by itself by subtracting 116 from both sides. And we end up with negative y equals negative 32, which means y equals 32. And that there is our answer.